Hi everybody, welcome back to Lamppost Builds. Today we're in the What Now workshop and we're going to be fixing an irrigation line that's been leaking. Now there's a couple different ways that you can tell whether or not you have an irrigation leak or not. One way is by looking for pools of water coming up from the rocks or the dirt in your yard. Another way is whether or not you have trees or plants that are being watered and others are not. Well, that is what I'm going to show you today. Okay, for us to do this repair today, we're going to need a few things. The first thing we're going to need is we're going to need a section of tubing, irrigation tubing. We're also going to need a couple of couplers to attach the new tubing to the existing tubing. We're also going to need either a utility knife, or if you already have some type of landscaping knife that cuts tubing, that will work too. If you don't have one of these, a utility knife works good enough. Now let's go out to our timer. Let's set our timer so we can determine exactly where the leak is at. We're also going to need to probably do some digging. Okay. So here we are at the irrigation timer control. I'm going to go ahead and set my station to say 10 minutes. I'm going to let it run. And then we're going to go back and check and see where the leak is. Okay. I can see that my water is running on this tree right here. And I know my line runs underneath my garden all the way down. And I can see that my water is running on this tree as well as the others down the line. However, if you come back here and you look in between those, you see water that's pooling up right here underneath this block wall from my garden. So that is where my leak is at. And again, like I said, I already knew where it was leaking from, but I'm just now getting around to fixing it. So what we need to do is we need to dig out some of this dirt in the garden in order to get to that line, because I know for a fact this line runs underneath here. Okay, so we've identified the area where the leak is at. And it is actually not this line, because this line is my irrigation line for my garden specifically. However, the line that's under this water here, I don't know if you can see it, but this line that I'm lifting up is actually part of my backyard landscaping. That is what's leaking. So what I need to do, I've already got this dug out. I need to wait for this water to drain, subside, evaporate, whatever. Then I can come in here and I can actually find out where it's leaking by turning on the landscaping timer, finding out exactly what spot it's actually leaking in, cut that spot out, and then fix it. We know approximately where it's at based on this area right here where it's wet, which tells me it's in this area. So now that I've got it dug up, I just have to let it dry out. Then I can turn it back on. I can find the leak. I can cut both ends of the hose, fix it, be done with it. Okay, so everything is dried out now, and I pretty much know where our leak is at. Our leak is right here underneath this plug. They actually call them goof plugs. So if you make a mistake and you don't want a spaghetti line coming out of it, you shove one of these plugs in here and it stops it. But I can feel a crack in the line right underneath of this. And so rather than turn on the water and try to determine exactly where it's coming from, when I kind of already know where it's coming from, and having this all flood with water again and then having to wait, I'm going to go ahead and just cut out this section, and I'm going to put a connector in. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this plug out. And since I know that this is split here, I'm going to go ahead and cut this. And again, this is not easy to work in and be in such a tight condition. But what you want to do is just cut that, and I'm going to cut it on the other side, right about, let's see, right about here. Okay, now my connector may not be long enough, is the only thing I'm worried about at this point. So let's just see. Okay, I might have enough room here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this connector, it's called a coupler, I'm going to put that over the hose. And you basically want to twist it and push it till it fits over it. This takes a little bit of time. Okay, so I wasn't able to get away with just putting a coupler on. Looks like what I need to do is cut out a section, which I've already done right now. I've cut out the section. I've put a coupler on here, and I've got another section that I'm going to attach. The hardest part is going to be getting this coupler onto the existing line, because this line is older, it's a little more dried out, and it's harder to get on. But you just have to twist and push, and you know, eventually it takes a little bit of time, but you can get it on. There we go. There we go. That's how Daddy likes it. Sorry. I still have enough left in this end. Yeah, I can go some more here. And again, like I said, this is not easy, especially when you've got limited space. It's actually no easier than if you just dug it up out of the ground with nothing around it either. But it is doable. It is possible. So don't get discouraged. All right, I think I got that far enough in. This one should go in hopefully pretty easy. And it is a little harder once you get the lines connected to push and twist and turn. So I'm gonna pause this for right now because I need a break. Okay, I think I got it. I've got my line running here. I cut it. I added a coupler, a new line. I added another coupler, and this is where I cut the other line, basically right here. So I've got everything reconnected. Now I'm not really concerned about it not laying flat on the under the garden because I got roots here that seem to be growing from the neighbor's yard. So if it's up off the ground, I got a better chance of it not having to be replaced again. But we'll see. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go turn on the water. I'm going to run it for a minute or two and then come back and make sure that we do not have any leaks. Okay, so got the water on. I don't see any leaks here. There's no signs of any water dripping. If there were any leaks, water would just be pouring out like it was before. So we can go over to this plant right here. I don't know if you can see, but we have water coming out of there. And then if we walk across the yard, we have water coming out of there. So we know that the water system is working. We know we don't have any leaks based on this area right here. And letting it run for a couple minutes, I don't see any water bubbling up. So it looks like this is fixed. Okay, so we were able to fix the irrigation line today. Basically, the piece that was leaking was this little piece right here. It was right behind one of the plugs that go into the spaghetti line. It was split on the side. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that was what was causing our leak. So rather than trying, which I did try, to just replace that one little piece, I was unsuccessful. I had to actually cut out this entire section. But the good news is that I was able to put a coupler on each end with a new section of hose. We have no more leaks. We've tested it. No more water coming out of there. So this project is done. Keep in mind that you can do this yourself without having to pay somebody a couple $100 to come and fix your irrigation lines. It's going to be a little bit of work. Yes, it's not easy. However, it is doable. So just keep that in mind before you pay somebody to come and fix an irrigation line. So basically all I want to say is I appreciate you for watching. So if you like what you saw, make sure you hit the like button below, hit subscribe. And as always, I'm Jeff here in the What Now Workshop. Thank you for watching my channel, Lamppost Builds. See you next time.